TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry, leave me a message.
I
Bye.
just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body.
Oh, hello and welcome to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury's Rising, and I'll be your host today. So, today I don't really have a guest, so I would like it if you would call in if you have some questions, especially if you have some questions about last week's show. So last week we had Mr. Dante. Dante was a gentleman that was engaged in a relationship with the same sex. So we talked about a lot of interesting topics. Basically, how can a woman tell if her man is on the down low or if he may be interested in other men, how a gay partner satisfy their partner, which were also a lot of tricks that the female could use on the heterosexual side. So if you viewed last week and you have some questions, you can call in and ask about that. Or if you just have questions about anything, you can just call and talk about that. So my book the title is Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Relationship Chronicles. And it came out in May of 2020. And it's a very interesting read. It talks about growing up in the South and some of the family secrets that kind of were traumatic for a child growing up between the ages of 5 and 12. Men in My Bed also touches on relationships as Sasha grows up into adulthood. So it will make you cry and make you laugh. It's gonna give you a lot of mixed emotions. So who is gonna be my first caller? If you don't call me, I'm gonna call you. Oh my goodness gracious. Felix. So let's talk, today I'll talk about the secret lover. Until someone calls in, it's on page 89. So the secret lover is this gentleman that Sasha worked with. And she knew him for about 15 years. And he was like maybe 450 pounds, but he was a funny guy. And as time passed, him and Sasha and a few other co-workers, they would just go walk a mile or two for lunch and come back. So then the weight started coming off. You know, he started looking kind of much better. And then he started swimming, and then he started walking, and then he more at home, and then he got a membership to the gym, and then by the time summer got here, he had lost almost a whole person. So then it was just like, well, you want to go to the movies, you want to go to dinner, you want to come over to my house, which I wasn't too interested in going to his house at the time. But, well, Sasha wasn't too interested in going to the house at the time. So it happened to be a Thanksgiving holiday coming up, and it was time for finals, and Sasha was in college working on her PhD. So she decided that she was going to get her a hotel room so she can study and get her final exam done. Then he heard her talking about that, so he invited her over to his house because his kids were going out of town to New York to visit their auntie. So, you know, when you hadn't been in a relationship for a long time and you hadn't been intimate in a long time, then sometimes anything started looking good, really good. So I said, well, Sacha was telling him, well, if I go over to your house, then I have to do something. So how about I just cook you dinner? So then she went and she bought all the stuff to prepare for the dinner since he agreed. So she had like steak and baked potato, well, she smothered it in some, it's like old-fashioned home fry. You fry the potato you fry the onions, you fry the potato, put the potato in with the onions, then you let that fry a little bit. Then you put some water in and season and let it simmer. Taste out of this world. But anyway, so Sacha cooked him dinner, and she sat in the dining room at the table and stayed on the computer and did her exam and stuff. So it took her like 4 or 5 hours to finish the exam. And then he came back in and offered her a drink. So she said, now let me finish this exam before I decide if I want to have a glass of wine. So Sacha finished her exam in time. And then he fixed her plate and her plate. And they sit at the dining room table and had dinner and wine. And then he asked, well, would you like to watch a movie? Because he had this huge big screen TV. It probably was over 67 inches in the living room. So he's like, yeah, I got some extra movies on my box. Would you like to watch? I said, sure, that'll be nice. And Sacha was so tired. I keep saying but Sacha was so tired. So he poured he said, would you like another glass of wine? So she's not just half, so give her another half a glass of wine. And then she got a little relaxed. So the wine was very relaxing because, you know, one exam was just basically nothing but numbers and adding and all that was just a bit tasking. So she relaxed and asked him how to pull the chair out because he had one of those circle sofas where that reclines, but she didn't know which button to push. So he pushed so he was trying to be slick. He came over and leaned over. So she's sitting like I'm sitting and waiting on him to come and push the button on this side. So he comes from this side and leans over her to push the button and try to steal a kiss. And she's like, oh no, you're trying to be slick. So he has this really funny laugh, meaning that when I hear it, when she heard it, it was funny, and then it's just amusing. I feel like I had a drink already, but I haven't. But anyway, they laughed that off, and because it was a little clumsy. So he sat down and he had his wine, and she had her wine. They drank and watched the show. So he said, well, you can just stay upstairs because he had like a downstairs and like a little studio room upstairs. So went upstairs, and upstairs had like the bed, a sofa bed on the side, and the TV and the stereo and all that. It's like a little complete one bedroom studio apartment upstairs. So she just decided she'll just take a shower and watch some TV and just lay down. And he didn't bother, he stayed downstairs. But it was so interesting that she was just tossing and turning. It's like her body wanted something that I think that her mind probably didn't want. And she just tossed and turned for hours. And she didn't bring her little toys or nothing like that with her. So she just watched TV, and she was wondering, like, what the hell is going on? Because really, she felt she wasn't attracted to him in any form or fashion. So, but she had these throbbing and tightening in certain areas on her body that was basically telling her that the body is interested in him. So nothing happened that night, but she ended up staying over there the whole weekend. Nothing happened the whole weekend, nothing. But anyway, they ended up going to work together because they worked at the same place that Monday morning, and it just was an interesting thing from there, moving on. And it just got like a couple of weekends out of the month, she'd go over to his house and spend the night. And probably like maybe 3 or 4 months later, something did happen, but it wouldn't be what you think it was. It was intimate, but more like safe sex, but safe sex with just touching, but no kissing, no lip work, none of that. Wondered about that. She was wondering very, very much about that because she likes to kiss, but wasn't forcing them. So they said, well, we'll just play some games. So she came up with this game called the Stallion. And the Stallion was basically, you keep your clothes on, I keep my clothes on, and we just rub against each other. So she would just sit on top of him while he's laying down, and with all her clothes on, and this, just pretend she riding a horse, which was kind of stimulating. Stimulating enough. And he was just the type of person that just did what she liked at the time, and he did a lot of it. So he was definitely an oral guy. So maybe he got off the pacifier early when he was a baby, I don't know, but he was a licker and a sucker. 2 favorite things that Sasha likes. So the secret lover is that no one other than him and his kids and her kids knew what was going on. So and that lasts for about 5 years, and then things got she felt after 5 years that the relationship should be a little further down the line, and then with just them doing just oral, just him doing oral, because she didn't have to do nothing at all. So it was just interesting to see how things was going to play out with the secret lover, but she was wondering, but she never asked. Not right then, but she did ask. She was wondering if he was ever gonna want to use his penis, but he never did. Well, he didn't mind her touching it, so yeah, she did touch it a little bit. And then she didn't because he acted like he was about to have a heart attack. But when a man says, "Oh, just be gentle," that's a little. It's like a little push up. Why would you say that? This is what you like. But anyway, the secret lover, interesting, because he was never my someone that I thought that I would be interested in a romantic way. Even though he was a very nice guy, he wasn't too. Well, yeah, I guess he was attentive. He wasn't, I don't know, he just was something different. Confusingly something different. Probably was a little confusing for him as well. But anyway, the secret lover ended up being Sasha's husband. But he only ended up being Sasha's husband after Doc ghosted her. So we gotta go to a commercial, and nobody called yet. Be right back.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue South.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Don't say Mama's Mercury's. Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury's Rising, and I'm your host today. And I have a caller on the phone, and she's just going to ask some questions about my book or the last show. So, Diane.
Yeah.
What did you think of the show last week? Huh? Diane, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So what did you think of the show last week?
It was very interesting.
Did you get any tips? Diane? Huh? Yes. Diane. Oh, guess I must have lost Diane. Okay. Well, back to The Secret Lover. So, the Secret Lover, what page was that? Ended up being Sasha's husband, but Sasha wasn't happy. So, Sasha, she didn't really, but she told him that she told him she wasn't happy. And she told him, but this is before the marriage, so she told him that she wasn't happy, and then she told him that she was going to be seeing she was going to be dating. So all he did was just gave her a puzzling look. So then she stopped spending so much time with him, And like 30 days would pass, and 60 days or 90 days, 4 months would pass, and she wouldn't see him. She would talk to him on the phone, but she wouldn't go over to his house and see him. So Sasha traveled for her job, so she would go out of town. And this one particular assignment that she had out of town, she didn't really want to go. She was going to send some other people. And then at the last minute, she decided she was going to go. So it ended up being like 5 people, 4 and herself, that ended up going to Charleston, South Carolina for this training. And it was just like probably two females and 3 males, but all of them were co-workers. So when they arrive at their destination, where they're going to be staying at for the week, then they went in and put their bags up and left and went to dinner. And one of the members from the group said, well, my brother is coming, and can't he go to dinner with us? So Sasha asked if he was married. He's like, no, he's single. So then she said, yeah, sure. Then they met, all of them met up at the restaurant. So the brother came in maybe 30, 40 minutes later. And when he walked in, he was like this tall, gorgeous man. I mean, tall, good looking, nice lips. And he had on like a t-shirt and some shorts that came below his knee and tennis shoes, like he was working out or something, or going to work out, but I think he said he was going to officiate some games or something like that. So Sasha just started drilling him about if he was interested in, was he in a relationship, or was he dating, or was he in love? I mean, she was really giving 1,000 questions. And he was polite enough to answer all of them. And he sat in front of her, because the other gentleman had another man sitting in front of him, and then the young lady had another young man sitting in front of him. So he only had a spot that was in front of me. So I don't know, I just felt Sasha was comfortable enough just to ask him question after question after question. And she wanted him to answer all the questions from A to Z. After dinner, they left and went shopping, the group, so they can get some stuff for just a snack on for the week while they was in their room after class or something like that. And they went to the store, and he saw this dress. It was a nice owl figure, shaped like an owl. Dress was shaped like an owl figure. So he said, if I bought this dress for you, would you wear it? And she said, yes. And then they had just small conversation in this department store. And then later on that night, they talked on the phone till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then he asked, can he come by the next day? And she told him that he could. And she was pretty intrigued by him, because I don't know, he was just so interested, and she was so comfortable with him, and she felt like she knew him already. Oh. It's off. So this is Doc. So after she met Doc and she spent those 5 days with him, doing his free time, when she got back to Atlanta, she just didn't care too much for spending any time with the secret lover, because what she was missing from the secret lover was the intimacy. Whew, thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello, I really enjoy your show. You have a wonderful show, And I just have a few questions I'd like to ask you. And by the way, my name is Casanova Davis. My brother Mike called a couple of weeks ago.
Casanova Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
And you told me you had a great show and that you were very knowledgeable about some wonderful things.
Really?
Yes. So I thought I'd give you a call, and there's just a few questions I want to ask you. I'm sorry I don't know much about your book, but I guess I really don't need to because I'm watching you.
Oh.
So, question. A woman like you, or most women, do they like kissing with a lot or little tongue?
Kissing with what?
Do they like kissing with a lot of tongue or little?
I think it's both. Because after, yeah, and I'll say personally, if you kissing with a lot at first, and then maybe after a few minutes pass, you just play around with just a little.
Which parts of your body do you like to have kissed?
Really? Well, I have a few special spots. So, yeah. It's a spot right back here that will drive you crazy. And it's just, and it's like on that close to that the jugular vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kiss on that, oh, it is sensational.
I'm gonna have to turn the fan on.
Oh,
question,
yeah.
What's your favorite part about having quickies?
Favorite part about having quickies?
Yeah.
I don't just like, well, let me finish answering your first question. So it's the neck back here by the jugular. The nipples are very sensitive. And then some women have it where one nipple is more sensitive than the other. So then some men can pay attention to see which breast is the largest. So normally the one that's the largest is the most sensitive one because that's the one that whomever is there is paying more attention to. But it'd be nice to work both sides. And then the third place is that special spot. So it's the back of the neck, the nipples, and the special spot. Now,
baby, show you right.
Now, what was the second question? I forgot. You see, you made me forget.
Another question. How do you like your breast and nipples played with?
My what?
How do you like your breast and nipples played with?
Oh, you can suck those like it's a bottle. It'll put me right to sleep. That means for a long time. Suck it for a long time.
A long time?
A long time. Not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, a long time. So if you're a breast man and you like nipples, then we would get along very well. That's all I got to say about that.
You like being spanked?
I've never been spanked. Have I been
You've
spanked?
never been spanked?
I don't think I've ever been spanked. Maybe I have. Maybe once or twice, but it probably was a gentle spank. But look, I may try anything one time, just one.
But do you like spanking somebody else?
Oh yeah, I would like that.
Ooh.
I sure would. Tie you up too.
But do you find yourself more dominant or submissive during sex?
It depends on the person. So I find myself being both, but it depends. So some men like for you to have the lead way, and some men don't, and then some men you have to just take charge. So when I think I need to take charge, I take charge. But when he wants to have his way, then I just lay back and let him have his way. But
do you like calling guys daddy?
What? Well, do I like that? No, I don't like that. But if the person like it, I can work with it. But that's not something that I like. That's an interesting question.
What name do you like to be called during sex?
Well, I don't have any certain names that I like to be called, but your partner may just like to call you names other than your name, like some names that's probably women may not, like bitch and slut, or you my whore, or baby is fine, but sometimes those other words is part of the turning on for your partner, for the man.
What's something sexual that you hesitated to try but ended up loving?
Something I hesitated to try but ended up loving? Well, I have to say, going back, oral sex, I kind of hesitated there on that because, things that you were told as a teenager, things you shouldn't do by your parents and stuff, and the reason why you shouldn't do it, kind of stuck with me for a long time. So when my mom told me that oral sex will give you cavities, I believed her. So I didn't thought too fondly of giving anybody any kind of head. I think it's time for a commercial break. Hold on. You can come right back, though, but hold on.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community, and Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're going to do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're going to bridge that gap because we're going to get out of here. We're going to shake hands. We're going to find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry. Leave me a message.
I just want to love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body.
Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury's Rise, and I'm your host today. And on the phone, I have Casanova. And Casanova's been asking me some questions, some very interesting questions. So, Casanova,
Yes, darling.
You have such a nice voice.
Oh, I bet you tell all the guys that, don't you?
No, I don't. So, before we went to commercial, you were saying?
Well, I have another question. What, if anything, do you like about having threesomes?
What, if anything, do I like? Nothing. 'Cause I've never had one.
Oh, come on.
No, I've never had a threesome. I've had my boyfriend ask me to invite me to take part in one that a female friend of his wanted, and I said no, didn't do that. So
well, tell me something that you probably ain't gonna own up to, but I gotta ask you anyhow. You can be honest. Do you like being watched having sex?
Do I like men what?
Do you like being watched having sex?
I haven't had that neither. You know, I think I have quite a few things that I may explore later, but no, I haven't had those.
What, do you like watching other people have sex?
I haven't done that neither, other than on TV, so I don't know.
Well, what makes you orgasm the fastest?
Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. So those 3 areas that I told you about earlier, and I don't, it may just be me, but I'm able to have an orgasm, just an upper body orgasm. So instead of having that type of orgasm where the full body is going through the quaking, it's just the upper body, and that comes from just manipulating the nipples. So so that's why I said suck it for a long time. And then vaginal orgasms is kind of difficult for me to achieve unless it's done with a vibrator, or the mini clit tickler. I'll say it like that instead of vibrator, but a clit tickler, because it's just small and it's only for the clit.
Maybe that sounds so exciting.
It sounds exciting.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah, you know those clit tickler are
magical. Some women like being choked during sex. Do you?
Well, I think.
Yeah,
well, I kind of had that experience in a past relationship, but it was very gentle, but it felt pretty good. I didn't it wasn't hard enough to where I had to push them back or say stop or anything like that, and it wasn't. But that's just the gentle pressure. It was good. I wonder what would have happened if he had choked a little harder, but never know.
Okay.
What about you? What about you? What do you like?
Yeah, it's my turn to ask the question. I'm the caller.
Okay. Caller, what's your next question?
Do you like having sex in the shower?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Love that.
I think Casanova is going to be watching this show quite a bit.
Well, Casanova, I really like you, the questions that you asked, and I really appreciate your brother telling you about the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell your brother I said hi.
He gonna get brownie points. But I'm gonna erase his link so he can't watch you no more.
Oh, you are?
Have you ever had FaceTime sex?
Oh, yes, I have.
Oh,
I've done that.
I'll admit, you're fairly well-rounded.
You think so?
Yeah.
Except for the threesome and watching and... Yeah, I think I might can get those in by next year.
So do you like doing 69?
Not really. No.
Do you like sex with the lights turned on or off?
On and dim.
On?
Yeah, on but dim.
You like to watch a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I do. I like to see the facial expressions.
Show you right.
I do. Because that's what's going to tell me whether the person is enjoying themselves or not. So.
Do you like getting your hair pulled during sex?
Yeah, that's why I have natural hair.
Do you like being tied up or tying up your partner?
I like to tie up my partner, and if he's going to tie me up, it has to be done in a certain way. So if my partner is going to tie me up, I'm only going to allow one arm and one leg on the opposite side. And that's so that I can loosen myself. Because, you know...
You like wearing lingerie during sex? I see you got some sexy lingerie on today.
Well, yeah, I do, because, you know, I'm a little self-conscious about my body parts. But, normally my partner don't have a problem with my body parts that I have a problem with, but.
Well, Casanova, got one last question for you, baby.
Okay, what is it?
How can I make your biggest sexual fantasy come true?
How can you make my biggest sexual fantasy come true?
Yeah.
Well, I think you should inbox me your information, and when I realize what my biggest sexual fantasy is, then I'll call you. Is that,
okay,
is
Mercury,
that fair?
you're making me rise in. I think that's going to do it for me. I got to go take a cold shower now. So,
all right. Well, thank you,
maybe
Casanova.
I'll call back next week and talk to you.
That'll be lovely.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind. I'll be looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Well, baby, you have a wonderful evening.
Well, thank you, Casanova. You do the same.
Love your show.
Thank you. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was interesting. Oh, my. Casanova. Interesting questions. Well, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Bedroom Chronicles. You can get it at Amazon or any other bookstore online. So I decided to write this book because of that was basically my way of getting through the experiences that's in the book, the relationship experiences. Now, I'm not going to say they were all bad. I got to take away a lesson from each one, so then I don't say that they're bad. And I was a willing participant in the whole thing, because I just thought maybe that I could. My phone is just keep beeping, beeping, beeping. Okay, I got it. The relationships in the book it can be a learning tool for any man or woman that's been through some, I guess you can call it hard times with with relationships not turning out the way they thought they would turn out. Because one relationship in the book, Sasha had the idea that it would go much further than it did, but it actually ended up kind of abruptly when she wasn't expecting it. It was like, she got shot in the dark. So, but the one that she ended one, which was The Secret Lover, when she ended up divorcing him. Time to go to a commercial. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35-mile-per-hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you,
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
This world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Hi, I'm Michael Cowell, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party! All right, see y'all later.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Oh, welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury's Rising, and I'm your host today. So I just had a caller a few minutes ago, which was, whoa, he was something else. He said he's going to call back next week. I'll be waiting. And Tacoma, if you're watching, can you call in? 770-485-7724. I would like to ask you about your perception of the show last week and what you thought about the questions that the gentleman asked me earlier. So the line is open, but until he decides whether he's going to call or not, I'll continue to tell you about Men in My Bed. So Men in My Bed, it took me basically years to write it because I put it down, I pick it up, and I put it down, and I pick it up. I'll write 2 or 3 pages sometime. I might write 20 in one day. So I felt pretty good after I was finished writing it. I felt pretty good about it. I felt that it was going to get all of the emotional reactions that I anticipated that it would, and it did. I had a few people to read chapters as I was writing it, and Tacoma was one of the people that read about the relationship. I think I may have let him only read about one or two people, but Doc was definitely one. And I wanted to get his take on whether it was erotica or not, and then he agreed that yes, it was basically 100% erotica. But I always thought that you should get to know the author too, something personal about the author other than just the relationships. So that's why the first half of the book talks about, Hello? Hello? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you doing this
I'm good. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Are we still on the air?
Yes. So I think it's just maybe about 10 minutes. So did you watch the show last week?
Yes.
What was your take on it?
Okay. Which guest?
Dante, the gay guy.
Oh, Dante was cool. You know, he had some, he enlightened me on some things that I did not know about, you know, alternate lifestyles. And he was very, you know, very informative. And I did learn a lot from him. What I learned was that, you know, about, well, you know, it's still the terms that I'm not too familiar with. You know, I wouldn't want to be insensitive, but, you know, you know, just thoughts that there's just, you know, that over the years of just, you know, just gaining more exposure, because to me, my belief is, you know, every lifestyle for every person, whatever makes you happy, you know, do what you do.
Okay.
But you know, I know you had some terminology that he had, you know, corrected you on about flaming and so I was like, wow, you know, I didn't know there was a you know, a vast difference.
Yep.
And he explained that, you know, to you and the listening audience, and I learned the difference. So that was I don't want to use the word entertaining because, you know, like again, that may be insensitive, but it was informative, and I learned a lot, you know, from you know, those that are low key and not so low key. You know, I'll say it like that.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because one of the guests had asked me about that she wanted to know about how she could possibly tell if her partner was on the down low. So I thought the best person to ask that question would be a man that's gay. So he was very.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that because you're fading out?
Oh, I said a young lady, one of my fans, wanted to know about how she could tell if her partner was on the down low or just gay. So the best way to find that out would have been to ask the questions from a person that has that lifestyle, which was Dante, and he's been doing it since he's been 14 years old. So he's an expert. So she found it very informative as well. So pretty much what he's told me, I had already really known about based on my gay friends. I don't have any, well, some of them are bisexual, but they wouldn't own up to being bisexual. They still think they're straight. But yeah, that was one of a very good topic last week. So this week I was thinking of having a young lady on, but she couldn't make it today.
Is that the caller that called in, Diane?
No, that wasn't her.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, you know, now last week's show, I don't know how I missed that, but I was curious to know how a woman could tell. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that because I'm always tuning in at the top of your show. But I did miss that part. But you know, I found it funny because I'm like, you know, what if there are some clues, but the woman is totally wrong, you know? And I wish that I had, you know, caught that part of you know, Dante's interview.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you could.
You know.
Well, well, the clues aren't conclusive. She can be wrong, but because it can be like, how much of that does he want? How much of that does he like that he would only another man would like, or only a woman would like? How much of it how much do he like her playing in his dearie ear?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So is that how far does she want him to go in that area? Does she want her to use a dildo back there, or just her tongue will be enough? So yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
again, sadly, I missed that part because is it only bedroom play? Or is it something like outside of bedroom play? You know, clues that a woman could tell if a man is gay. Is it just the bedroom, or is it in the bedroom or out and out?
No, I think we were just basically talking about in the bedroom. Now, there are clues that's outside that if you just meeting somebody in the street, or you met somebody, and say you just in a club and you see this guy with his girlfriend, and you're a gay guy, so you're going to throw the guy a sign to let him know that you're gay too. So we didn't cover that part, but I know that there are signs that a man can give another man to let him know that he's down with him. But I guess that can be part two.
Yeah, please let me know when part 2 is on, so I could tune into that. I know there was a movie that I saw, you know, I guess maybe about 10 to 12 years ago, and I know my son and I had watched that, and I would say that movie was so outdated now, but it was just like, who would, you know, a heterosexual man would never know, you know, and you learn, and just the exposure to learn things, you know, again, everyone's lifestyle, more power to them. I don't knock another person.
Right.
But, you know, that's what I was asking, you know, was it just bedroom play that a woman could tell, okay, these signs may tell me he's on the DL versus, you know, something that he does outside of the bedroom. But, you know, like derriere play, as you said it, you know, like, you know, I don't like, you know, like if I'm saying, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm in a sink, you know, and I'm cutting potatoes or onions or something like that, and you know, were to walk up behind me and, you know, poke me in my, you know, my backside, I don't like that. You know, I'll, you know, you'll catch me off guard. Now stand up with my, you know, with my fist balled up, like, yo, what's wrong with you? You know, some people may say, see, you know, why are you getting so, you know, so mad? And then other people may say, well, there's a reason for it, you know. And I'm not homophobic, but, you know, it's just the same thing. To me, I think that if you walk behind me and I had my hands in a sink cutting onions and you put your finger in my ear, I may, you know, pull back from you with my fist drawn up like, yeah, what's wrong with you? Stop playing. You know, it's not that, you know, whether a finger in the air or to try to put a finger in my butt, that it's just, you're still going to get the funny look in my fist, you know, pulled back on you like, I got to remember, oh, it's just you just playing, you know. That's just me.
But you know, women that I've spoken with about that little test, it's best to do it when the man is sleeping, because if he's sleeping, ladies, if he's in bed and he's asleep, and then you take your finger and you run it up the butt, the crack of the butt, and this is what they say. They say if he pushes back on your finger, because he's sleeping, but if he pushes back on your finger, you got a problem. And if he pulls his butt forward, then you may not have a problem. So,
all right, well,
not just standing at the sink in the bed while he's asleep.
Yeah, I can dig it. I know when I'm asleep, if anything, you know, if I'm asleep and anything foreign touches me, you know, I'm pulling away from it. And you know, again, I may, hey, is that an ant? Is that a spider on me? You know, those are the mild things. You could tell when you're waking up from your sleep and something, you feel like something's maybe crawling on you. So yeah, a gentle finger slipping down my backside or something like that, or even deeper. Nah, I'm pull away. Like again, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah. So in conversation with my female friends, they've made reference to a man addressing their boobs as balls, and to me that's a Freudian slip. Say, oh, your balls feel so good, but you holding on to her boobs, not balls. And women, yes, so women boobs are not considered balls at any point. But if a man say that, so then you have to pay attention. Well, why did he say that? If you have one behavior with a man, you can't stop from having that behavior with the female. If you bisexual, you're gonna have the behavior going to be across the board. Even though you might have that be kind of resistant, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It will.
Never had that issue. Never had that problem. And again, not to be insensitive to, others and their lifestyle. Just personally speaking, it's the 3 words. Well, I've narrowed it down to 2 words that I have for a female's breast. Is 1 or 2 things. I would never call them anything other than 1 or 2 things. That's in the words that I've used over the last few decades. No fraudulent slips here.
Okay. Well, Tacoma, thank you for calling. Thank you for answering my call for you to call me. But it's always interesting. It's always interesting to hear your input on topics that we are talking about. So won't you call back next week too?
I plan to.
Okay.
So God willing, I plan to.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye. Well, that was Tacoma, Washington. Mr. Washington. Are we still on the air? We done. Okay. Oh, I thought we was done. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm here relaxing. Oh, I just feel like being outside in that traffic. It took traffic all that long time today. I feel like I had a drink, and I didn't. I guess I'm just that tired. But anyway, Men in My Bed, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Bedroom Chronicles. You can find it on Amazon. It's a very interesting read, as I've been stressing for the last hour. You can read it with your husband. You can read it with your boyfriend. You can act out the parts that are in here with the intimate relationships. So you can read and she perform, or the female read and the man perform. All that's in here. So it got I think it has a few really good tricks. And on top of that, Dante gave us 5 tricks that you can use last week. And so you got Dante 5 tricks, you got my tricks in here, and you got so many tricks. You can have a wonderful time for Thanksgiving and Christmas and into the new year, because there's enough tricks in here to keep you busy. And with Dante 5 tricks, I'm going to have to write those 5 tricks down for the sequel. And okay. Oh my goodness, where I had something I needed to say, but I can't find it. So looking forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mercury Rising's out.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry. Leave me a message.
I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love